guys, we are back for As Told By. Welcome to the new year. Hope your Christmas and New Year's were great. Mine was. And this year we're starting off with my favorite. It's actually going to be several parts. Lord of the Rings. So, and we're going to repot all these starters of Tradisantia de Sabrina into this because I need to condense them. Anyway, so a little bit about the plant. I'll have to take some of that out. Tradisantia zebrina is also known as the, where'd that come from? The Wandering Dude, formerly known as the Wandering Jew, but that has anti-Semitic, an anti-Semitic background, so the name was changed fairly recently to just Wandering Dude. And let me tell you, this plant is great for ground cover, but you can't kill it. You can't. I had one, the mother plant of these cuttings that I had been trying to just ignore and let die because I just don't like it. But it just didn't die, and I don't know what this is. Okay, so you can't kill this stupid plant. You can't. You'll never hear me say that I've tried to kill any other plant, because this is just my least favorite. So I've tried to kill him many a time. Apparently just not the right ways. Anyway, so Wandering Dude, onto Lord of the Rings. So obviously with Lord of the Rings I'm gonna start by saying Tolkien is brilliant. Lord of the Rings, I read Lord of the Rings when I was probably a preteen. I mean, I've been watching the movies for years. My family is very fond of the movies. And I actually watch the movies like at least once a week now. I'm on to 3, nope, it's way more than 3. I've watched it way more than that. And I'm gonna cover some of these because it'll sprout roots from any part of the stem, so it doesn't matter if you cover the stem because it'll keep growing. And this may be too small of a pot because I have a lot of these. But anyway, so Lord of the Rings starts out, Lord of the Rings starts out in the Shire. So this one is actually going to just be book 1. So The Fellowship. And so it starts out in the Shire, where we are introduced to the hobbits by Bilbo, because Bilbo is writing this part of the book. And so it's concerning hobbits, and he's explaining that hobbits are the best people in the world. They value hard work, growing things, and just a simple life. Like, they don't get into battles. They don't do a lot of the crap that you see around the world. And that's great. So honestly, everyone should want to live in the Shire. But so he goes on to, continue introducing them, and that they live in a hole in the ground, and that it's not a nasty, dirty, wet hole. It's a hobbit hole, which means good food, a warm hearth, and let's see what else I remember. He says, okay, I don't remember, but and then we meet his nephew, Frodo, who is actually, he's a relative, and they call him nephew, but it's not quite. Maybe it's a great nephew or something. Because Frodo's dad was related to Bilbo, but his mom is a Took. So Frodo lives with Bilbo because Frodo's parents died when he was very young, and they drowned in a lake because apparently they went boating shortly after dinner, and Frodo's dad was so fat that the boat just sank. That's really how it happened. But yeah, I don't have enough room for all of these. Anyway, so Frodo and Bilbo had the same birthday, September 11th, and they're about to celebrate their birthdays because Bilbo's turning 111, which is quite a long time for a hobbit to live, and Frodo is turning 33, which is the age of, reaching adulthood in the Shire, which makes a lot more sense than 18. And so they were two big milestones, really, I guess. And so I'll put one more in. So at this birthday party, you meet all of some friends and unliked family. The Sackville Bagginses. You meet the friends that are Merry and Pippin. Pippin being related to Frodo on his mom's side. Merry is a Brandybuck, and then Samwise Gamgee, who is Frodo's gardener, whose father was the gardener before him. Actually, well, they still work together because his dad's fine. They do the garden for Bilbo and Frodo. And I'm out of room for all these. So that stinks. I'm gonna repot this as well. Some of them. Spider plant. So then, the party happens. Bilbo has a laugh because he uses his magic ring, which he brought back from his trip in The Hobbit, if you've read that, where he got the ring. He found the ring in a cave, and it had belonged to Gollum, and he tricked Gollum into being able to keep it, even though he technically didn't tell Gollum what he had. But that's a different story. I'm going to be interrupted. Hold on. Brief pause. Where was I? I was at the party because I can't get past that because I can't miss anything in it. This is going to take forever to tell. Anyway, so I'm going to put those at the bottom of this. Party, Bilbo uses his magic ring and disappears in a funny little prank thing. Gandalf is Gandalf is there too. He's a wizard. He was with Bilbo during The Hobbit, and he's like, that's not normal. So he confronts Bilbo back at the house because Bilbo goes back to the house to grab his stuff to leave, completely. Come on. And this is messy. Just go in there. And so Bilbo's like, yes. That's fine. What's his name? Gandalf convinces him to give the ring to Frodo, to leave the ring behind because it seems to also be affecting Bilbo in every way, lengthening his life, just everything. So he does, after some fits that he throws, he does leave the ring for Frodo. And Gandalf leaves, or he tells Frodo, just keep it hidden, don't use it, don't put it on. And Frodo's like, okay, sure. So Gandalf leaves to go try to figure out what the ring is, because he suspects that it's the Ring of Power. Not like the show. That's wrong. That was based off of a fan fiction, so it's not even like canon. So, anyway. So Gandalf goes to like Gondor and his buddy, his Saruman and stuff, and it actually takes him 17 years to come back, unlike the movies, which is like maybe a few weeks. But I mean, I kind of like the timeline in the movie, just because it makes a little more sense to me. But whatever. So Gandalf comes back when Frodo is 50, and is like, that's like the one ring of power, and these bad guys, these 9 ring wraiths, are like looking for it, and they will totally kill you if they find you. So Frodo's like, well, that's not good. So Frodo makes a plan to leave the Shire, and unlike in the movie where it's pretty quick and he leaves like in one night, Frodo actually takes about a year or something to settle his affairs and leave the Shire. He ends up distributing most of his stuff to family and friends. The house he gives them to Lobelia Sackville Baggins, who's the only one left alive. Well, her son's still alive, but he's not important. And then Frodo goes and he bought a small house towards the edge of the Shire to make it easy to disappear when he needed to. And the people helping him were Merry, Pippin, and Sam, who Merry was the smart one, and he figured out the whole thing with the ring and stuff, and that the ring made him invisible and stuff like that. So they were helping him, and they completely planned to go with him, unlike the movie where, they were kind of accidentally got into that. So then they go, they leave for Rivendell. Well, they go to the Prancing Pony. Gandalf doesn't show up. So Strider, Aragorn, gets them to Rivendell. You actually meet before then, before they even get to the Prancing Pony, you meet Tom Bombadil and his wife, and I am not remembering her name. What is it? She's got long blonde, she looks like an elf, I guess. Like, she's tall, slender, long blonde hair. I feel like the word green is in part of her name, but I'm not remembering right now. So they meet Tom Bombadil after he saves them from, they got stuck around some old ancient tombs that are like burrows, that were guarded by wraiths. Not the ring wraiths that are after the ring, but just wraiths that captured them and had taken them in to the burrows. Tom Bombadil saves them from that. No. They escape from that and then get caught in Old Man Willow, who is like in the movie where Pippin and Merry get like crowded around by roots of that tree after they meet Treebeard. It was like that, but Tom Bombadil stopped that from happening and took them to his house. And so Tom Bombadil is not affected by the ring. He slips it on and just laughs and takes it off. Hi. Sorry, my dog's right there. And so what's great is, well, that's not what's great. So he's not affected by the ring, which kind of makes Frodo mad because, like, that's not fair. But actually, Tom Bombadil and his wife, people suspect, are kind of based off of Tolkien and his wife, as if they were put into the worlds themselves, although Tolkien really described his wife as Luthien, and himself as Baron, but that's for something else. Do you want to join me? You want to help me finish telling the rest of the story? Come here. Come on. Come here. Come on. There we go. This is Caesar. You kind of meet him in the Mysterious Phenomena podcast in one of the episodes, one of the newest episodes soon. Anyway, here, you can just sit. Anyway, so then they go to Rivendell. They have a big meeting with all these important people, and Elrond is like, you know what? I'm getting real sick of this, because he tried to get his friend to throw in the ring when the ring was first cut off of Sauron's hand, and that didn't work. And so it's been like 1,000 years or so, and he's like, I'm just sick of this. So he's like, you guys are going to go destroy this ring. One of you guys has got to do this. It's not going to be me. And Frodo, after much arguing and stuff between everybody else, Frodo's like, I'll do it, I guess. And then, Aragorn's like, I'll protect you. And then Legolas is like, yeah, me too. And then Gimli's like, yeah, ain't no elf gonna do that without me. I'm gonna do it too. And then Boromir's like, yeah, I'll go with you. Gondor will see this through if you want. And then, Frodo's friends are like listening from being hidden, and Sam's like, he's not going anywhere without me. And then Merry and Pippin are like, we're coming too. So they all go, and they start walking to Mordor. But, and then, let's see, then what happens? Then, they don't like, they try to go over the mountains of the Caradhras, but Saruman is, like, being really mean, and sending, like, enormous storms to try to stop them, kill them, whatever. So they end up going a different way through the Mines of Moria, which until this point everybody thinks is, Balin is alive, it's occupied. It's not. Everybody's dead. And after the Watcher in the Water tries to eat Frodo, they kind of get caught in the mines, so they can't escape except going to the other side. So they get forced, huh? And then Gandalf fights the Balrog, who Balrogs are Maiar, just like Gandalf, so he's honestly probably fighting his brother. They just look different because they're evil. And so they fall, and Frodo's like, no! And, Aragorn's like, oh no, I'm in charge now. And so they get out, they start running towards Galadon, which is where Galadriel lives, because it's not too far away. And Galadriel's like, I'm gonna give you guys some nice presents. And so she gives, she gives them all cloaks. I don't think it says what she gives Boromir as a gift. Maybe she just doesn't like him. I don't know. She gives Legolas a fancy bow. She gives the hobbits, Merry and Pippin, daggers that are really old from her family a couple thousand years ago before they all, killed each other. And then she gives Sam rope. That's like really good rope. She gives Frodo a vial of light from the elves' most beloved star, which is actually Elrond's dad. But that's a different story. So she gives Frodo a glass of Elrond's dad. And then Gimli, she gives 3 strands of her hair, as per his request for just 1 strand, which is really interesting considering in the Silmarillion, another elf asks her for the same thing, and she just is like no dude, I'm not giving you my hair. But she gave a dwarf some of her hair. And that is very remarkable. Anyway, so they continue, they go on boats, and, oh, he's leaving me. They go on boats to, I'm gonna see if I can put more in this. On boats to, what's it called? Something of Anarion. Man, I can't think. Those big statues of, like, the kings going like this, like, stopping evil or whatever. Aragorn's ancestors is who they are. It's Isildur and Anarion, Isildur's son. Who Aragorn is descended from. Why is that wet? I did not. Okay. So, hair. Let go. So they get to the Falls of Rauros, that's what it's called. And that is where, when Boromir and Frodo are alone, Boromir, like, is kind of overcome by the ring, and he tries to take the ring from Frodo, and Frodo's like, and runs away. Well, puts on the ring and runs away, so he's invisible, and then Boromir, recognizes his mistake and tries to apologize, but, Frodo's gone. And then they get attacked by orcs or Uruk-hai that Saruman had sent to go get the ring. And Uruk-hai are like orcs times 4 because they're like mixed. Come on. They're a special type of orc, so they can travel in sunlight. It doesn't bother them. I mean, sure, they probably don't like it, but it doesn't bother them like it does orcs. And so they get attacked. Merry and Pippin distract them so that Frodo can get away, because Merry's like, okay, he's leaving. We'll let you do that, but we're going to help you. And so he distracts them, and so Merry and Pippin are about to be not attacked, because the Uruk-hai were told not to kill the hobbits, so they were probably just going to grab them. But Boromir doesn't know that, so Boromir comes in, and he saves the day, until he dies, which is the saddest cinematic death ever. Thank you, Sean Bean, for that. It will always make me cry. But he does a phenomenal job as Boromir. So Boromir redeems himself in this way. And just gonna start putting you guys on top of each other, because you won't die anyway, you don't care. That's probably enough. Let's put a little bit of that on top. There we go. Anyway, so Boromir dies. He gets hit by 3 really big arrows. Like, they are probably, I don't know, an inch in diameter. That is really big. And he gets hit, but keeps fighting until the 3rd arrow, which kind of, like, he's finally like, oh man, I can't get up anymore. And, Aragorn saves the day as much as he can. He stops the 4th arrow from getting to Boromir, and kills Lurk, who is the Uruk-hai that had been the one to shoot the arrows. So as he had been shooting the arrows, the rest of the Uruks that didn't get killed by Boromir grabbed Merry and Pippin, and they ran off. And so Boromir saw that, and obviously he's like heartbroken because he couldn't stop that from happening. So after Aragorn kills Lurk, and he's trying to calm Boromir and tries to first take out the arrows from Boromir, but Boromir's like, no, leave it on. It's not gonna do anything. And so Aragorn's like, I promise you, we're gonna win this. And you did not dishonor yourself or whatever. Like, you redeemed yourself. He's like, Boromir's like, I failed. I attacked Frodo. And Aragorn's like, no, it's okay. Frodo's on his way to Mordor, and you redeemed yourself, and it's really sad, and it makes you cry. So then Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas, they give Boromir kind of a funeral, which they put his body on one of the boats that they were traveling in, which they were planning on leaving there anyway. And it didn't show this in the movies, but in the books they put the weapons of all of the orcs that he had killed, at his feet, and then they put him in his sword, like this, which is traditionally how, knights were buried. They were buried with their sword over their chest. And so they kind of like set him adrift, and then he falls off the Falls of Rars and is, gone. And then they're like, Aragorn's like, we need to go save Merry and Pippin because they're probably gonna die. And Legolas and Gimli are like, yes. And then they go, and they're on their way. Frodo and Sam are on their way. Yeah, that is the first book, The Fellowship of the Ring. And yeah. Anyway, I forgot to mention, this blanket is available in the shop, littlearcus.com, thelittlearcus.com. Isn't that cool? It's based on, I'm going to just put it there, on a symbol from the Arcus books, which eventually I will do in this. So if you want that, check it out. It's still available. Follow us on Instagram. That we actually have several Instagrams. We have the Arcus Conservatory, which is this. Arcus Media, Arcus. I have to get my phone. I don't remember. Oh wait, I'm recording on my phone. Okay. We have the two podcasts, the Cookies and Crime podcast, if you like true crime and food. We've got the Mysterious Phenomena of the Dreadfully Explained podcast that I referred to earlier. And we've got the Shopkeeper. Okay, so the other Shopkeeper is what the Conservatory Instagram is. The other one is the Shopkeeper, and that is my sister, her books. And then I think there's the Arcus Tales Instagram as well, if you're interested in hearing more about those books. So, like and subscribe if you liked this video and if you want to see more. I am hoping to be more consistent with posting. So it'll actually be every 2 weeks instead of every week. That way I don't get overwhelmed because there's a lot to do. And honestly, especially in the beginning of the year, it's winter. So there's not a whole lot I can do. This I could only do because my grandma wanted a pot of these, and I wanted to condense some of my plants. Otherwise, I don't know how much I'm going to get done this until the weather warms up. So, anyway, if you have any suggestions for any upcoming books, comment below. It'll be a while because I'm going through all of the Lord of the Rings ones first. So the next video will be the Two Towers, and then the one after is going to be the Return of the King, because I have to do them all together. Alright, so see you later, and read more, plant more, that kind of stuff.